There exists a network so fast it could download Elden Ring in 0.00008 seconds. 2 million megabits per second. That's how fast the internet speed is at CERN, and it's roughly about 160,000 times faster than the internet bandwidth required to watch this YouTube video in HD. While we're all stuck on the public internet, CERN runs its own global system, the worldwide LHC computing grid, spanning 170 sites in 42 countries. At full speed, it pushes over 260 gigabytes per second. That's more than 2 million megabytes every second. So I started wondering, what would happen if you had internet at home that's basically as fast as CERN? So first, we need some context, because everyone thinks their internet is slow until you realize what normal actually is. Right now, most people are sitting somewhere between 12 and 25 megabits per second. That's the average. That's what you're probably using. And when you open a website, it takes, 2 to 3 seconds? Feels fine. Now, compare that to CERN. If you were to visit CERN's headquarters in Geneva and use one of their machines, the speed at which you would open a website like Facebook would be reduced by 160,000 times to, basically 0 milliseconds, right? Wrong. You see, internet bandwidth refers to how much data your internet connection can transmit. The more bandwidth you have, the more data you can load at once. So what is the catch? Well, when it comes to loading a website, as long as your speed is average, it doesn't really matter how fast it really is, if the website, on the other end, can give you enough data for transferring in the first place. A recent study found that upgrading to 10 megabits per second from 5 only speeds up page load times by about 5%. So does that mean that having a speed of nearly 2 million megabits per second would make no difference to an average consumer?
Oh shit, here we go again.
Well, the moment you start downloading stuff, everything changes. When it comes to internet speed, the easiest way to measure how much of a chad you really are is to download the entire game of Elden Ring, all 66 gigabytes of it, in about 0.00008 seconds, or the whole library of Steam games available on the entire platform in just about a few hours. Assuming, of course, you have several petabytes of storage just lying around, maybe in your backyard. Okay, but how is it even possible to have that kind of internet speed at home? You see, information can be transferred in quite a few ways. Over an Ethernet connection, the most common being the LAN cable, which is actually capable of a maximum speed of 10,000 megabits. That's 200 times less than what we're aiming for. So how can we increase that to CERN level? Well, there's actually another type of cable capable of achieving speeds way beyond your typical LAN cable. And you can probably imagine how extremely massive, hard to manufacture, and difficult to install it is, even for big corporations, let alone people like you and me, right? Completely wrong. These cables are insanely thin, and instead of using electricity, they send data using light, which is just unfair. Honestly, they're faster, more reliable, and can carry ridiculous amounts of data over long distances. In fact, companies like Nokia and organizations like Surf have already tested connections hitting up to 800 gigabits per second. So yeah, the technology to get close to CERN level speeds, it already exists. It's literally in the ground. And theoretically, fiber can go even higher, into the petabit range. That's a billion megabits per second. Now that we've established it's possible to have that kind of internet speed at home and got ourselves a fiber cable in place, we can talk about what we can do with our 2 million megabits per second. And 2 million is a lot. In fact, You could give 100,000 people their own computer, all connected to the same line, and every single one of them could be on a 4K video call, sharing screens, uploading files, doing whatever, and nobody would notice a thing. No lag, no stuttering, nothing. But here's the problem. Speeds like this are so far beyond normal that they're actually hard to even compare to anything we do day to day online. So who'd even want this? Because internet providers already offer plans up to 100 megabits, some even 1,000, and that's more than enough for pretty much everyone. No one's selling 2 million megabits because no one would buy it. Well, except maybe CERN. If you've got a family with a couple of gamers, maybe some streaming, some dull ones, 100 to 300 megabits makes sense. If you live alone, check emails, scroll a bit, watch the occasional video, you could survive on 10. It all comes down to how many devices are connected and what they're actually doing. So if you somehow decided to buy a plan that matches what CERN runs at their headquarters, you would spend an insane amount of money for basically no real benefit.